to start on Hamid Bays on the bottom. Take no time. Not in the bottom, middle of the page. Dal Hamid Bays. You see Tanur Rabbanon. Right after Iboilu. Mao Livol Betchilu B'Shabbos. Are you permitted to, woman's a virgin, are you permitted to have relations Friday night? First, why? Because there's a question of Chabura. So Rashi himself says, there's a brisa that says before that you're permitted. So he says either the person who's posing the question didn't know of the brisa, or he rejects the brisa, the ruling of the brisa. He has another source. Iboilu, Mal Livol Betchilu B'Shabbos Dam Mifked Pokid. Do we say the blood in the hymen is only like a sack of blood? It's not absorbed in the flesh, or chibure michbar, or no, it's absorbed in the flesh of the womb, and therefore it's considered chabura. V'imtib slom dam mifked pokid, and if you say dam mifked pokid, it's not a chabura. L'dam tzorich v'shori. He's doing it because he wants to see if she's a virgin or not. If it's permitted, but in fact she's making a pesach. The Gemara says in Shabbos that we have binyan by a person. There's binyan because Torah says vayiven es hatzela, when he created Chava, the term binyan is used. Pesach tzorich v'oser. V'imtib slom dam tzorich. If you say he's not interested in upesach b'meila kosi, and the pesach only comes b'meila, but that's not the intent. We'll see Rashi himself. What about psik ratio? It's not a psik ratio because the Gemara says, because it's ef shabbat toyo. It doesn't always happen, right? Haloch Reb Shimon davashen miskavin muter. Do we rule like Reb Shimon davashen miskavin is permitted? Or haloch Reb Yuda the Omar davashen miskavin oser? It's oser. It's machlok shisham with the rice is trabona on Shabbos. Vim timsel haloch Reb Yuda, and even if you say the haloch is like Reb Yuda, that what davashen miskavin is oser, so therefore over here there's a pesach, right? Reb Yuda. Mekalkalu it's la pesach or misakinu, because a person would prefer a virgin, meaning a woman that becomes more diminished once she's no longer a virgin. Or misakinu it's a pesach, no, because the person would prefer afterwards. That's the first version. So the first version is we rule like Reb Yehuda, they rule like Reb Shimon. Even rule like Reb Yehuda, it's mekalkel, and therefore would be permitted. Equal diyam, another version. Even if they say it's what? It's a chabura, l'dam hu tzorich v'oser. Odim lanos atzmu tzorich. It's only he's doing fano v'shori. So therefore it's saying miskav, imtin slomanos atzmu tzorich, v'dam emelo kosi, halocha Reb Yehuda, who holds davashen miskavin is oser. Odilmo, halocha Reb Shimon, dimtzon, halocha Reb Yehuda, mekalk b'chabura. It's mekalk b'chabura. Reb Yehuda holds that mekalk b'chabura. It's like every mekalkel, which is only, it's also m'jarabonon. And since saying miskaving, or misagmu chaburahu, or is misaking, right? Because now the woman's considered more perfect. Vimtib so mekal chaburahu mekalka halok Reb Yehuda. Reb Yehuda holds mekal chabura is mutter on a Torah level. Or halok Reb Shimon, or rule of Reb Shimon, the mekal chabura is also, even though mekalka by all lamates melachas it's mutter. What's his name? Chabura is the exception because we find by Mila. What does Torah have to permit Mila? It's mekalka but chabura. Okay, so that's the machlok. Reb Shimon, Reb Yehuda, how do you see Mila? As mekalkel or misaki? Reb Shimon sees it as misaki. Reb Shimon sees it as mekalkel. Reb Yehuda sees it as what? As misaki. Because you're perfecting. That's Reb Yehuda. So therefore, there's no proof from there mekalkel mechabur is any different than any other mekalkel. Reb Shimon says no, it's mekalkel. It's not misaki. In the physical sense, even the halachic sense, it's tikkun, but physically it's mekalkel. So therefore, this is the exception. Although mekalkel is normally permitted by all the other lamtes melochis, by bechabura, that's the exception that you chayiv. That's definitely mekalkel. That's definitely mekalkel. It's a scab because it's not natural a scab. No scab it's not fully healed. There it's not fully healed. Of course, you're removing it too soon. That would be mekalkel. Okay, Vei Rav Amri in the basement Rav, they said, what was Rav's position? Are you permitted to have the first bia Friday night, Shabbos night or not? In the basement Rav, they said Rav Shori, Shmuel Osar. Rav said it's permitted. Shmuel said it's not permitted. But Nerdoy Amri, Nerdo was the community of Shmuel. They said Rav Osar. Rav said it's not permitted. Shmuel Shori. Omer Rav Nachman. So if you want to remember who said what, whether Rav said Mutter or Osar and Shmuel. Simonach elu mekil latz elu mekil latz. In the Beis Medrash Rav, which is Rav, each one is taking on the more lenient opinion for himself. So the Talmud Rav will bound to Rav. What's the position? Rav is mekil. According their though, they were that was his. He was the Morad the Asro. He was the rabbi, the psak supposed to go there. They ruled like him. That is mekil. Rav Shori. Someone asked a question. How could Rav say it's permitted? Rav Simi Bar Chizkiya Mishmei the Rav. If you have let's say you have a stopper in a barrel, and to secure the stopper, they would take a rag, wrap it around. It was saturated with beer. So if it's saturated with beer, what is it? So every time you're pushing the stopper, you squeeze out the what? You squeeze out what's absorbed in the rag. So Rashi says, and what is it? It's mefarik. So there's an argument what's mefarik. Is mefarik libun? It's laundering. Or is mefarik over here, which is like extracting liquid from something else? It's machlokas. So haim schreudun zayse osla duka biyom tabo. No. The word, it's the same. Schita is used for both. Schita could be libun, depends what context you're talking about. Or schita could mean you squeeze a grape, that's also called being sochit. But each one's a different malocha. You wring out a rag with water, that's malabi. That's schita, but over there means libun. It's kibbutz. Okay? So what was the story? Samar says, so how could you tell me Reb Shimon says it's mutter, Rav says it's mutter. Rav says that you're not permitted to push the stopper back into the barrel because you're squeezing out the rag. It's any miskavein. Samar says, but Reb Shimon moder. In that context, even Reb Shimon agrees. Why? If it's inevitable, there's no chance that the outcome's not going to be. So therefore, but over here, it's not a psik ratio because it's chance, there's hatoya, right? A person could bypass the hymen, it won't necessarily rupture it. Ivan Reb Chia bar Ashi, Omer Rav halok Reb Yehuda. Rav Chia bar Ashi said name of Rav, we rule like Reb Yehuda. Rav Chona bar Ami Omer Shmuel halocho ke Reb Shimon. Rav Chia bar Oven Masilo below Gavi. Rav Omer haloch ke Reb Yehuda. Rav Shmuel Omer haloch ke Reb Shimon. How do we reconcile them? He holds like Reb Yehuda. So it's a problem. The answer is not problem. Olam Rav Reb Yehuda really. Rav rules like Reb Yehuda that what? Ein miskaven is osir. However, but Rav holds by mekalka b'chabura, it's mutter. So we're dealing with a sofik mekalka b'chabura. Sofik drabonon. It's really lahach lishna dam dam mifket pokid. So according to the version that dam is mifket pokid, so what is it? It's only a sack of blood. So it's not chabura. So mekalkulates la pesach lahach. So therefore everybody agrees. So mekalkel. For binyan, according to the second version, that what the blood in the hymen is what is chabura mekal b'chaburo, and he holds like Reb Yehuda. Reb Yehuda's mekal b'chabura is mutter. Moshe Rav Chisda asked the question from a Mishnah. It says tinoka shlo yingiel lismano liros. You have a girl, she's less than 12 years old. It's a marriage d'oraisa, and now the husband for the first time has relations with her. So the question is it dam besulim or is it dam nida? B'nisas, and she got married. Beishami omrim noslo arba leilos. Beishami says he could have relations of 4 days in a row, continuously, because we attribute the blood to dam besulim. It's not dam nida because she's not menstruating. But after 4 days, because a woman, the blood from the besulim, she doesn't bleed any longer. So where's the blood coming from? Must be she's menstruating. Until the wound heals. That is, if there's never a time where she's not bleeding, we always attribute the blood to the besulim. What about higiyas manad liros v'nisas? What about if she's already 12 years old and but she hasn't yet seen? He hasn't yet seen. The first night he could have as many times relations with her, and we attribute the blood to what? To the besulim. Until Motzei Shabbos, Arba Leilos, 4 nights. So it seems to be redundant. It says Motzei Shabbos, Arba Leilos. So we still attribute it to what? To the Bsulim. My love, the low boil. We say if he didn't have relations earlier, Motzi Bol, that's what it means. Afil B'Shabbos, that means Shabbos. Shabbos, 4 nights, right? That's the Lashon Meisilo. He says, Ad Motzei Shabbos, until Motzei Shabbos, 4 nights. So you see over here that that you can have relations with Motzei Shabbos. So how could Rav say, how could there be consideration that you're not permitted? So it's a proof from here. This would be a conclusive proof that that he permitted to have relations on Shabbos. Omar Rov, it's no proof. Lo lebarbi Shabbos. It means except Shabbos. So the Gemara asks, it means 4 nights means except Shabbos. Omar le'abayi v'ar motzoi Shabbos arba leilus. It's 2 things. It says she could have relations until motzoi Shabbos. So if you count from Wednesday, that includes Friday night. Then it says arba leilus. Ela merovik shabal. He did have relations. So Mercy Shabal, my Kamashal is so good. So why can't you have relations on Shabbos? Right? What do we have to talk about Shabbos? Right? Kamashal Shir Lemivu b'Shabbos. Right? Tell me there's still a chiddush. Even if you had relations before, factually it's still tight, and it's possible there still could be a chabura. Right? So you make a chabura on Shabbos. Factually, a major chabura we're not concerned about. It's definite because he had relations before. But since it's pirza de chukah, it's actually tight. So therefore, he may actually, when he has relations, there may be some residue of the skin left, and that will cause her to bleed. Nevertheless, muta lichnos bo b'Shabbos, he could have relations. Api shemeishir tzoros, although there may be some skin coming off, that it's not inevitable that there will be a chabura. Therefore, it's permitted. Moshe Rav Yosef. So Rav Yosef has a question. It says, Chosin potem mikriya shema, laila rishna motzei Shabbos. We say, Osim mitzvah potem in a mitzvah. A chosin is exempt from the kriya shema the first night until motzei Shabbos, 4 nights. Meaning, if he didn't have relations all the nights, we give him till motzei Shabbos because he's not comfortable and he has it on his mind. That's why he's exempt. Im lo semaisa. Meaning, if he didn't consummate the marriage, let's say Wednesday night or Thursday night. So we say he's exempt from Kriya Shema till Motzei Shabbos. Im lo semaisa. My love. So what's the reason? What's the reason? Why are we absolving from Kriya Shema? The Torah, the boy limivo, because he's Torah with having in mind that doing a Maisa Mitzvah, right? Every night, because he has in mind, he's concerned it may not work out. So that's called, he's preoccupied with a mitzvah, right? So if that's the case, you have a proof that you're permitted to have relations on Shabbos. Because we're saying if he'd have relations, even Friday night he's put. But if you tell me you're not allowed to have relations the first time with a virgin, because of Chabura, so what is he preoccupied with? Amalei Abai says to Rava, lo the Torah lo boil. He's preoccupied because that he did not consummate the marriage. You hear this? He's upset with himself that he didn't, not that he's going to do anything for Shabbos. Amalei Rava, so Rava says, we should tear the potter. I mean, because he just distressed with something. That's a reason to absolve you from mitzvah. Person's ship went down in the sea, and he has a tremendous financial loss. Hochanami, the potter, you're going to tell me he's potter because he's distressed and he's distracted. Maybe you say yes, since it's so hard to concentrate, maybe he is exempt. It says an Ovil must keep all the mitzvahs. Except tefillin. This is the first day, the day of the burial. Doesn't wear tefillin. The Tana, why? Shenemar ben pe'er. Because tefillin pe'er, and a person being disheveled, in the disheveled state, it's inappropriate that he should wear tefillin. But it seems only from that, but all of the mitzvahs, he's obligated. He's distressed with his grief. But you see, it says he has to say Shema. Elam arova tanoi. This discussion is a machlus tanoim. Whether he can have relations Friday night or he can have relations. The Tana Chado im lo asa ma'aseh b'rishin potur. If he didn't consummate the marriage the first night, he's potter. If he doesn't say kriyash, but the second night, b'sheni potter api shlishi. So do you see that what? There he could do the it says because there he's doing the action. V'tan yidach rishon v'sheni potter. The first and second night he's potter. Shlishi chayov. Why? Because what? Because he's not permitted to have relations. Babai hosam nami b'tir the plig. That's the argument. It's tir to the mitzvah, not whether you can have relations or not, right? Tanoi beilas chabur b'Shabbos man de'oser livo b'Shabbos tanoi. That's the argument. Dikatano achrinu de'oser lemil b'Shabbos. Yeah, Abayo malach no. Tanoi nami b'tir the plig. They're arguing, is that enough? Everybody agrees you're not permitted to have relations. Abai learns. The argument is being preoccupied with being distressed. Is that enough to absolve you from a mitzvah? Okay? That machluk comes, it says, a person who marries a psula, the first time you're not permitted to consummate the marriage on Shabbos. Chachomim matirim. And we rule like the Chachomim. Man Chachomim, who are the Chachomim? The Omer Rabba, Reb Shimini. Dov shein miskavin mutter. Shein miskavin. Amalei Abaye, Rav Modi, Reb Shimon, b'sikreishin v'lo yomus. It's a b'sikreisha. Reb Shimon only says in miskavin where the outcome is not inevitable. But over here, if she's a psul, it's inevitable. Right? We just finished saying by by pushing the stopper in the barrel because it's going to squeeze out the rag. You're not permitted, even according to Reb Shimon. Omalei lo kalul ba'halolu ba'avloim shemikim ba'atoyer. Not like these Babylonians, they don't know how to do hatoya. Hatoya means that they were able to bypass, so it's not a psik ratio. Right? Elo yesh bikim ba'atoya. The bikim, those who are, and Tosis explains, that the average person is a buki. It doesn't mean buki, means every time. But since it's possible he won't do it, right? So therefore, it's not a psik ratio. Because there's a possibility it's not going to rupture. So Mar says, Imkei Torah Lomo, Simkei Torah Lomo. What does it say? The reason why we're absolving him is because of what? Because of Tirda. Say the reason why we permit it. Right? Lomo, right? He shouldn't be exempt. If we say he's a Boki Batoyu, what do we differentiate between a widow and a virgin? Because a virgin, he's going to rupture, it's more complicated. But if you say rove people are Bekiyim, they could bypass it. So what's the worry? They should say Kriya Shema. So my answer is Loba L'Sheinu Boki. L'Sheinu Boki, Yomru Boki Mutu Sheinu Boki. Osir, Rov Bekiyim Hein. So what are you going to say? The Boki is absolved, is Osir, and the Boki, one's not the Boki is not. The answer is Rov Bekiyim Hein. The majority of people can. So Tos's answer explains like this. In the reality is you're not going to rupture it. Because most people, when they actually do the action, they can bypass it. But each person is worried before he may not be able to bypass it. As a result of that, he has tirda the mitzvah. You hear this? In terms of the actuality, he will not rupture it. Therefore, it's not chabura. It's not a psik resha. But in Kriya Shema, because he's worried maybe it's not going to work out, so what is he preoccupied? The mitzvah won't be able to be done. As a result of that's called osug mitzvah potim ne mitzvah. Therefore, we absolve him from the Shema. Amalei Rava bar Rav Chana l'Abaye. Okay, now we said a phenomenal question. If we're saying Rov Beki, and that means what does that mean? There's no blood. There's no blood, correct? So if that's the case, Shoshvina, about Shoshvina, Loma, Mapa Loma, right? You have people accompanying them to stand by on the side, because if he's going to claim that she wasn't a virgin, so you have the cloth, which indicates whether there's blood or not. Does he have a base for his claim or not? But if we're saying that even the virgin, he's able to bypass it, so there's no blood, what's the point of the Shoshvina? These people be standing by and having the cloth. Right? Yeah. They would have two people, one representing him. That they shouldn't somehow come up with some kind of claim, which is a baseless claim. But if you're saying you're able to bypass it, our answer is, maybe what happens if it doesn't always work out? Let's say factually it was blood. And he's going to go and he's going to what? And he'll get rid of the cloth. So therefore, in case that should happen, we have people standing by. He says, very good, Rashi. If factually he'll claim, you hear this, Judah, if he'll claim that she's not a virgin, she could prove that she is a virgin. Right? Let's say there was hatoya and there was no blood. So he'll say, see, she wasn't a virgin, but it could be proven. There's a way later to do a test that she's a virgin, prove she's a virgin. But what happens if there's a cloth, he doesn't do the hatoya this time, and he goes and he gets rid of the cloth. So then she can't. How is she going to disprove him? Therefore, you have sheish, neish, shoshvin, you have two people there, so nobody should be able to discard the cloth to prove that, in fact, she is a virgin. Okay. Mosiv Ravami. Now, okay? Now we're doing today's daf. 9:30, okay? Mosiv Ravabi. So we're saying now that what? That the only reason why it's permitted is why? Because Rov Bekiyan. So therefore it's not a psik ratio. So more as a question, Hamafis Musa B'Shabbos, a person goes and lances a boil on Shabbos. A boil with pus. So what happened? What are you doing? You're taking out the pus, and also you're creating a Pesach. Two things are happening. Im lasis lo per chayif. If you want to make an opening so the air should be going in and out, it's a Torah violation. You're not permitted the lands to boil. Because that's a malacha. You can't honest to do a malacha. We say this binyan by a person. Right? Rashi says, Shehu besakin pesach chay mishum bonet dashchem binyan balichayim dechsiva even is at selot says by chavo vayiven. Okay? V'im lotzi lecho. But if it's to extract the pus, b'mena lecho is the pus, potter. So you see, it's potter. Why? Factually, you're taking out fluid which originally was blood. This good. What is pus? Pus means originally it's diseased blood. So you see, you can take it out. On that, the Gemara says no. Hosem, pokid, v'okid. There's no question. The whole discussion we had before is the blood of the psulim is a mifkat pokid b'chuburu michmar, because that's healthy blood. It's still connected to the flesh itself. Once it's pus, it's already totally detached. It's just a sacket of pus. As a result of that, what are you doing? You're just letting the pus that was out. It has nothing to do with the circulatory system. Hosem, pokid v'okir. It's already gathered, removed. It's detached. Hocha, pokid v'okir. But over here, it's partially, but it's not fully detached from the circulatory system. Therefore, it's what? It's netilas neshama. Ravami shor lemivu b'tchil b'Shabbos. Ravami permitted one to what? To have be on Shabbos. What's the reason? Because we say, hatoya. Omale raboran v'oluksivo ksubosa. You're not permitted to be with your wife unless you have a ksuba. Right? If they go and they consummate the marriage, now what about if this one where the ksuba wasn't written before, how do you have it? Omale afasu betaltlin. That you give her an amount of metaltlin to be the equivalent of the ksuba, she should retain it. So that's like having the ksuba, Rashi says. To new law, betaltlin tachs yodim mashkan l'shibud ksubos at sheyichtu ksuba b'shibir karkos. You write it afterwards. Rav Zvid shar l'milu b'Shabbos tchil b'Shabbos. Rav Zid himself also ruled you're permitted to have first-time relations on Shabbos. Ikad de'amri Rav Zid gufei bol b'tchil b'Shabbos. Rav Zid himself, he personally did the first act of bio with a psula on Friday night. Rav Yehuda shar l'milu b'tchil b'Yom Tov. Rav Yehuda says he permitted to have the first bio. Listen, very important, on Yom Tiv. So what does it mean Yom Tiv? Does that mean to exclude Shabbos? Yom Tiv, it's not as chamor. Maybe Yom Tov it's permitted. The Gemara says we say mitoch shurtlu tzorach. The tilas neshama is permitted on Yom Tov, right? You're permitted to slaughter, right? So if you're permitted to slaughter, so slaughtering is tilas neshama. See here also it says Rav Yehuda shar l'mivu b'tchil b'Yom Tov. Amar Rav Papi v'shmeidu Rava. Rav Papi quotes Rav says lo te b'Yom Tov shari ha'Shabbos also. Don't infer from Rav Yehuda it's only Yom Tov yes and Shabbos not. Why? So what does he say to Yom Tiv? If there was a person came and asked the Shaila on Yom Tiv, am I permitted to have relations for the first time with a psul on Yom Tiv? Not that, so he ruled you're permitted to have it on Yom Tiv. He doesn't mean Yom Tiv and not Shabbos. That was the incident that took place. Rav Papa, Mishmeidu Rava, no. B'Yom Tiv Shari, Rav Papa quotes Rava differently. He says, B'Yom Tiv Shari, on Yom Tiv it's permitted, B'Shabbos osur. Shabbos you're not permitted. What's the reason? How do we differentiate between Shabbos and Yom Tov? Amalei Rav Papa, Rav Papa, my daitoch. What's the reason why we differentiate between Shabbos and Yom Tov and Shabbos? And there's a malacha also in Yom Tov. Mitoch shurtul chabur letzorach, which is amishlo letzorach. We say mitoch. Just as the Torah we rule like Beis Hillel, that just as you're permitted to do a malach v'ochel nefesh, anything that you have any benefit from, the Torah permits. So therefore, what is in Tilas Neshama? Tilas Neshama is permitted for shechita. So therefore, it's permitted for this because there's a benefit. Elamiato, somewhere else, if that's the case, mutalasus mugma b'Yom Tiv. If a person wants to burn incense and perfume clothing or vessels, are you permitted to do it? When we say mitoch havor is permitted, you're permitted to kindle. For the sake of what? Of Yom Tiv ochel nefesh, you're going to be permitted. And we know you're not permitted to what? To perfume the vessels or the clothing on Yom Tiv. On Yom Tiv, Omar Leo Lechom Akros, he says, the pasuk is addressing exactly what you're pointing out. It says, Acha she'yochel l'chol nefesh. What's permitted? Only something which is yochel l'chol nefesh that the average person has an interest in. Dova shav l'chol nefesh. But let's say, Rashi says, perfuming clothes, that's for the mefunokim. Those are for the very delicate people. The average person has no interest in this. It's like, you offer a person, you want to burn some incense. I have no interest. What do you mean? They burn it in who knows where. Yeah, those people, it has to be something that's valued by the average person. So since incense, perfuming clothing is not valued by the average person, therefore it's not shavel chol nefesh. How many people eat venison? It's a very select part of society. Since the average person doesn't eat venison, what are you going to say? You're not permitted to slaughter a deer? See, if a person would have venison, of course he would eat it. But if a person would want to perfume clothing, persons I'm not interested. That's only the people who are the finicky people. So since it's only the finicky who have interest in this, that's not davar shavel chol nefesh. But if it's a food item, it's just because they don't have deer or venison available to them, but if they're offered it, of course they have an interest in it. Okay? Omar Rav Yaakov Varidi, Hora Rabbi Yochanan B'Tzaydon. Tzaydon is the name of a community. Rav Yaakov Varidi says, Rabbi Yochanan ruled in Tzaydon, also livel b'chil b'Shabbos. You're not permitted. You're not like we've said until now. We said Rab says it's permitted. Rabbi Yehuda says it's permitted. He said Rabbi Yochanan ruled in Tzaydon. It's not permitted. So Mar says Mika Horo Isur. The terminology said he ruled. So a very important Rashi here. This Rashi here is the same as Rashi and Beah. The Gemara says throughout Shas Koch Detei Rodif. Judah. What is Koch Detei Rodif? Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, when he wrote the Mishnah, he always presents the more lenient opinion. That's the count. Why? Because Koch Detei Rodif. He says to be machmir, you can be a total ignoramus. Everything is also. But to be matir something, how do you matir? You have to rely on your learning. It has to be substantiated. So that shows greatness. So what's the expression? Hora, ruling. He gave a ruling it's not permitted. Similarly, the terminology ruling means, laheta we use that. A person, it could be a suffix, I don't know, it's not permitted. It's not a ruling. It could be as a result of ignorance. That's the reason. So if you tell me he ruled that it's usher, how to use the terminology ruling, that term doesn't have any relevance to it. On Mercer's Ain. So he says, yes, you find the term hora even le'iser. Hatanan, horo beisilel shtei neziro cheva shorim acherus. There was a woman, her name was Hilni Amalki. She was from the family of what's a Furdis. And what happened was, her son went to war, and she said that if her son comes back alive, she'll accept upon herself 7 years of Nazirus. Yeah? And she conducted herself as a Nazira in Chutz Loretz. Eretz Amim, outside, it's Metamik. So when she came to Eretz Yisrael, Hillel says you got to start all over again. Because the 7 years you counted in Eretz Yisrael didn't count. Because it's Tomik. So it says he ruled, he paskined, you have to do it again. So over there it's L'chumra. He ruled, it has no value. We have another thing. The Tanya, Chut HaShedra Shenifsak Berubo. Divri Rebbe. Yeah, for an animal to be considered a treifa, if the spinal cord, the majority of it was severed, right? That's when it's a treifa. That's the word. That's Rebbe's bishop. Rabbi Yaakov Omer Afilu Nikev. You hear this? Even if it's perforated, it's not even severed. What do I mean? It has a certain thickness, the spinal cord. Let's say the majority is severed. Rubo. We say Ruba Kokula. It's like the whole thing. So Rabbi Yaakov says no. Rebbe held that even if you have a tiny puncture in it, a hole, it's enough that the animal's a treifa. It doesn't have, the majority does not be severed. Right? So Rebbe said one thing, and Rabbi Yaakov says, Afilu Nikev. Horu Rebbe ka Rabbi Yaakov. But ultimately, Rebbe ruled like Rabbi Yaakov l'chumra. So what do we find again? We find the terminology of Hora l'chumra. Okay? Omer Afuna, Ein halacha ka Rabbi Yaakov. We don't rule like Rabbi Yaakov. You have to have what? You have to have, the majority has to be cut. Rav Nachbar Yitzchak Masli Hoch Omer Avavo Show Rabbi Shmuel ben Yaakov the Mitzur as Rabbi Yochanan. There was another version of this. The way he quoted Rabbi Yochanan, that he said Rabbi Yochanan ruled in Sidon, the first act of cohabitation, Shabbos is not permitted. Over here, Rabbi had another version. Rav Nachbar Yitzchak Masli Hoch Omer Avavo Show Rabbi Shmuel ben Yaakov the Mitzidon the Mitzur as Rabbi Yochanan B'Tzaydon. V'ano shami ma'u livo b'tchil b'Shabbos Omer Yoser. He says he's still not permitted. Hilchsa, what's the halacha? Even Rabbi Yochanan says Osur muta livo b'tchil b'Shabbos. You're permitted What's the reason? For all the reasons we had before. Because since Rov Bekiyin, it's not a psik reisha, it's mekalkel, it's this, that, it's all permitted. And that's the halacha. Okay, now we're getting to Sheva Brachas. Judah, oh, your kid's married yet? Sheva Brachas, we're going to start. Om Rav Chelba, Om Rav Huna, Om Rav Abba Bar Zavda, Om Rav. Okay? Rav Chelba, same Rav Huna, name of Rav Abba Bar Zavda, Om Rav. Achas Besula, Vach Salmona, Tuna Brocha. Yeah? You need Birchas Chasanim. Sheva Brachas. You have to have 7 days, that's a different, but Sheva Brachas you need. You need Birchas Chasanim. Umiyom Rav Huna, Hochi, Vom Rav Huna, Almona, Eina Tuna Brocha. You don't need Sheva Brachas. Kash Oba Boch Shnos Almona. Kan Ba'almon Shnos Almona. Depends. If a person was never married before marries a widow, you have 7 days of Sheva Brachas. But if a widower marries a widow, you don't have 7 days of Sheva Brachas. You only have the wedding itself. You have the Sheva Brachas at the wedding, but there's no brocha in terms of Shiv Shimei Mishte. Okay? Kam ba'almon shenos almona, ba'almon shenos almona. Somewhere says ba'almon shenos almona. Lo, I vod Homa Rav Nachbar Oma Li Huna Bar Noson Tona Minayin Lebich Sanim Basoro. How do you know for the Sheva Brachas you need a minyan? Whether it's under the chuppah, you have Sheva Brachas under the chuppah, right? Right now the Gemara understands that even under the chuppah, almon who marries an almona does not need Sheva Birchas Nesuin. You don't need the 7 brachas. Somewhere says, how could you say such a thing? V'omer Rav Nachman Omer Li Huna Bar Noson. Tonu, we learned the Brayso B'nayin, the Birchas Chasan and Basoro. How do you know you need a minyan for Birchas Nesuin? For Sheva Brachas, Shenem Vayikach Asura Noshim. This is by Boaz, right, with Rus. It says he took 10 men, Mizigna here from the elders of the community. V'yom Shvu Po, Vayeshvu. Right? He says, sit here, and they sat. Boaz, Almon, Shnos Almono Habo. His wife died, Boaz, and Rus was an Almono. Minor tuna brocha. So says, what does it mean? You don't need brocha. Dom Rafuna in a tuna brocha kol zayin. Meaning 7 days, Shiva Shimei Mishta, 7 days of Of course, at the wedding, you have to have Sheva Brachas. Under the chuppah, you have Sheva Brachas. But the celebration of 7 days of Sheva, that not. Ava Yom Echad, Tuna Brocha, the day of the wedding, definitely you have Sheva Brachas. Right? Let's see, Rashi. Boaz Alman Hoyo, Dom Emar Ebtzun Ze Boaz, Kvar Hoyo Lo Lamed Bonim, Ushloshim Bonos, Basar, Daho Meshiva, Bedeino Tuna, the Kamer Afuna, Ukimno, Deino Tuna, Shiva, Mechlal de Tuna, the Kamer Rababa Shiva, meaning 7. When Eino Tuna Brocha means 7 days of Sheva Brachas you don't need, but 1 day you need. When it says, what's the name? No, we took Birchas Nesuin you have. And the Suin is Sheva Brachas. You have 7, no? Birchas Nesuin is Sheva Brachas. 7, no, it's just the Bracha. Okay? Elohod Tanya Shoktu, somebody asked a question. Elohod Tanya Shoktu, Chamal Takonos Mil Yisrael. She'imo Imo Gimel. We said earlier that when a person is an almon, when a person marries an almona, that means he's an almon marrying an almona. When does he have cohabit? The Gemara Shaila, it says he gets married on Thursday. So the Gemara asked earlier, does he cohabit on Thursday day or at nighttime? So it's at night. If it's at night, not Wednesday night, Thursday night. This is an almona.
So Thursday night is Friday.
Friday. So it says not Thursday during the day, but Friday in the nighttime. So like this, he'll spend 3 days with her.
Right.
He'll spend Thursday, Friday, and Shabbos. Okay. Somewhere it says, B'mai. So what are we speaking about over there? He should spend 3 days with her. Iba bochor. Are we speaking of a person who was never married before? Ha'amrit shiva. What do you mean? He's not running away, right? He has a chiyuv of a shev simei mishta, right?
Yes.
If he was never married before. Iba alman ha'amrit yom echad. It's 1 day. Iba seiba ba'alman yom echad lebrocha. Shloshim, 2 separate things. In terms of Sheva Brachas, it's 1 day, but in terms of rejoicing with your wife, it's 3 days. He should be 3 days with his wife, not to run off to work. Remember, many years ago, there was a certain person got married. You know, she was never married, get married, and he was a big masmid. Next morning, he's in the basement in yeshiva. Rav Shiva Zechariah says, what are you doing here? Get out of here. You should be with your wife. What are you doing here learning? Go learn at home. Be at home with your wife. You don't belong here. Right? Shiva Simei Mishta. 7 days, got to be with your wife. So an almond, although brocha is only one day, but simcha, it's 3 days of simcha. Ibos ema b'bocha shiva, the brocha, or you could say a bocha, a person was never married, when he marries the almona, 7 days of brocha, shlosh simcha, only 3 days of simcha. He rejoices only for 3 days. And for 7 days, whenever they have a meal with a minyan, they have a minyan. They have sheva brochas. But in terms of spending time with her, it's only 3 days. Meisvei. So the Gemara says that's incorrect. We learned in the Brisa, Bevorchen lebsula shiva. When you marry a psula, you have 7. Bevorchen shiva. Ulamona yom echad. My love. So what does it mean, yom echad? Afila almona shenisis lebocher. Seems to be even an almona, a widow, marries a person who's never married before. Lo la'almon. La'almon. When we speak about the almona, she married an almon. She married a widower. Aval lebocher, my shiva. You have to have 7 days. So we have a problem, but it says in the Brisa, almona. So what do we say, almona? See, if she's a widow, it's irrelevant what the husband is. Right? That was the original inference. What does it only say? Only in Psula does she have 7 days of rejoicing, of Sheva Brachas. It should say, not only, and an almona marries a person who was never married before. Ulamona yom echad. Gemara says, miltipsik diktani. Like a Psula, the Batzim Shiva. Because it wants to tell, just said something like, there's no woman who's a virgin who has less than 7 days. The man could have been married 90 times before. If she's a Basula, 7 days. And an almona, but like almona, the Batzim, and there's no almona which is less than a day. We want to speak two opposite ends of the spectrum. There's 7 is the maximum, and the minimum is what? Is 1. So how do we depict the maximum? Through the Basula. And how do we establish the minimum? Through the almona. Okay? Gufa. Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Lihuna Bar Nosson. Rav Nachman says, Huna Bar Nosson said to me, Tono, minay lebirchas chasana miasoro. How do we know birchas chasana, the shevrachs, you need a minyan? Right? That means every wedding, you have to have a minyan under the chuppah. Forget about the shevrachs. Under the chuppah. Because for Kedushin, you only need 2 witnesses. But for Nesuin, you have to have 10 because there's birchas Nesuin. Birchas Nesuin is Sheva Brachas. So whenever you have Sheva Brachas, you have to have a minyan. Okay? Shenemar. Vayikach hasar anoshim yizikner ir. Vayome shvu po. Rega. Vayeshevu. And they sat. This is by Boaz. Pasuk Koram at Aleph. Rabavo Ama Mihocha. Rabavo says there's another source. B'makelos borchu elokim. It's posting in Tehillim. When you're in an assembly, when you have an assembly, you bless Hashem. Mimekor Yisrael. From the Mekor Yisrael. What's Mekor? Meaning when a person, the Mekor is referring to the cohabitation. Al brocha Mekor tzorach kol. I know asora kol is 1 is 10. It says b'makelos. What's a kilo? Kilo is what is 10. Rashi. Take a look at Rashi. Al birchas Mekor tzorach kol. V'ani asora kamo hakel esaido. Vein hakel pochos mieido. It says you should gather this by hakel. The eido asor k'de alfidon ados meraglim and mosel eido roazos. Yotzu kolev. Yeshuva kolev. So we had 12 meraglim. If you take kolev and Yeshua out, you have 10. That's eido ro. Yeah. Rav Nachman b'Haikro, the Rebavo, my Dorish Bey. If Rav Nachman says we learned from Boaz, so what does he do with the second pasuk? Makelos. It says kilo. It says you should vorch Yisrael. How do we know that even the unborn fetuses that were in the mother's womb, even they said Shira by Yamsuf? Even though they were still in the womb, what did they do? They blessed Hashem. They sang His praises. What does the Makor indicate? That's what? That's the uterus. If we're talking about the child's already developed, it should say betin. Shouldn't Makor? Lei Makor be betin, my Makor, aliski Makor. It means regarding the acts of cohabitation. that when you're saying brochas in regard to procreation, you have to have 10 makelos. Rabavo by Krod, Rabach by Dorish. So what does he use the other pasuk? Vayeshev Boaz, right? It says Boaz Vayikach Asoro, Hahu mi boile lemidrash, because the story we just had in Yevamis, right? There was a whole question. Dog and Ami questioned the pedigree of David. It says Lo Yov Amoni Movi Bekal Hashem. If so, it's the case. David's not qualified to be a king, right? So he took 10 to establish the halacha. The halacha l'mishmishina. What is it? Mi boile lemidrash. Amoni v'lo amonis, movi lo movis. Diso gadaitoch librocha. Because if it was only that you need a minion of people, lo sagil lavzik, what do they have to be the elders? Why do you have to make this announcement in the presence of elders? It could have been 10 ordinary people. If it's just a minion. Idoch, iso gadait l'midrash, lo sagil lo asora. Somewhere says, if that's the case, what do you need 10? And if you have 5 zakanim, why do you need 10? Mar says, ain, l'fesumi milsa. Because he wanted to make it public knowledge. 10 is like the maximum public. As Shmuel said to Rav Chona Begarato, he came from Baghdad, Rashi says, Isha bebavul shmo Baghdad. Bepsak so sidro shel Rav Shrirogon, hinis keres. Rav Chona Begarato, puk vaisli be'asora ve'emiloch ban payu. Getting 10 people together, and I'm going to say in their presence, Amazaka Uber Kona, that if you want an unborn fetus to take possession of something through Zechiyah, he's Kona. Vilsa Mazaka Bu'uba Lo Kona. That a third party, you cannot take possession for an unborn person. Okay? But originally what he says, get 10. So what's publicizing something, make something public knowledge? 10. So the reason why Boaz, he took 10 people, has nothing with Sheba Brachas. Only to publicize the halacha that it's only the male of the Amoni Moavi and not the female. Finished. Famous Ritva. This would go over big in Modi'in. This Ritva. There's a Ritva, there's a Machlokas in Megillah, whether it says whether you need 10 for Kris Megillah on Yudalit. Everybody agrees, if you don't read the Megillah on Yudalit, you need 10. But on Yudalit, so the Ritva says, what do you need 10? 10, you don't even 10 men. 10, even women. Because the whole idea of 10 for Megillah is not Eidah, it's Pesumi Milsa. Pursuing Nisa. So 10 is a number which you're able to make the nest public. So we see the same thing over here. That the number 10, it's not only Eidah, he's saying it has nothing to do with Eidah. The issue, why he got 10? Because he wanted to publicize the psak, that the Isser is only the male and not the female. Amoni v'lo amonis, movis lo movis. Okay. 10 is 10. You see, the Torah refers to that as considered public. Chil Hashem b'Rabim. What's Chil Hashem b'Rabim? Rabim is 10. Okay? Ton Rabbanim. Mevorchim birchas chasanim beis chasanim. You say birchas chasanim in the house of the choson. Rabbi Yehuda Omer af beis ersin. Mevorchin also. Yeah? That you could even say in beis ersin. What does beis ersin have to do with it? Shemekach mevorchim kol birchas chasanim. Of course, we don't rule this way, right? What's his name says? You say birchas chasanim after the chuppah, right? Rabbi Yehuda says no, even beis ersin, even after the kedushin. That the Rabbi Yehuda says that you said even beis ersin, because there they would let them sequester themselves. So it was very strong. There was a very strong chance they would have relations. V'idoch. Tanya Yidoch, Bevorchim Birchas Chasanim, Beis Chasanim, Birchas Ersin, Birchas Ersin. Birchas Ersin, my Bevorch. What's Birchas Ersin? Birchas Ersin is what you say, Yashek Shan, Hitalonas Arayos, right that? Oslonas Arayos, my Bevorch, Rovin Barada, Rabba Baravada, Tarei Mishmei, the Rav Yehuda Omer, Baruch Ato Hashem, Elokeinu Mechlom, Shekidishonim, Mitzosov, Tzivonu, Al HaRoyos. You commanded us regarding forbidden relationships, V'osa Lonu Es Harusos, and you forbade us to cohabit with the Aruso. V'ita lono es hanesuos, and you permitted to us the fully married wives. Al yidei chuppah v'kedushin. That's our nusach, right? That's the bracha. That's birchas ersin. Beis. Beis. Here it is. Okay. Hita lono Es hanesuos lonu. The question he had lonu. Okay. Ravacha brei the Rava Messiah Mishmei the Ravad Baruch Hashem Mekadosh Yisrael Ayidei Chuppah V'Kedushin. It's not. It doesn't end there, and it concludes. There's a concluding bracha of that. Baruch Hashem Mekadosh Yisrael Ayidei Chuppah V'Kedushin. Man L'Chosi Midi. What type of bracha don't you conclude? The Abirchas Aperis, Abirchas Hamitzvah. He said Borpei Hadoma, right? Or Abirchas Hamitzvah Asher Sham Tzivon L'Sati Betzitzis. Uman the Chosim Lei Midi Kedusha. The one who says that you do have a conclusion like Kedushin, like Kiddush Friday night. Right. It starts Baruch Atah Hashem Mekadosh Mechalam. It concludes Baruch Atah Hashem Mekadosh Shabbos. Right. This bracha is similar to Kiddush. Kevin the blush and Kiddushi, Kiddush Hayom. Since we're using Asher Kiddushanu, right? So therefore we conclude it similar to Kiddush Friday night. Baruch Atah Hashem Mekadosh Shabbos. Yeah. Ki hosam ahi chasmina mishum dieshbo hefsek on ki hayom tchila mikra kodesh. To be continued. Okay.